Again, my name is Jeff Riley. I'm here today to let you know that I have chosen not to renew my contract when it expires in June of 2018. By that time, I will have served nearly 7 full years as your superintendent receiver here in Lawrence. In that time, we've seen some test score gains in math, English, and science, actually at historical levels. The graduation rate has risen almost 20 points, and the dropout rate has been cut in half. We've made strides in repairing and replacing our outdated facilities, although there's more work to be done there. And perhaps most crucially to me, we've made a real effort to restore the arts and enrichment activities for our children. It's been an honor working for and with this amazing community. There is also much to be proud of. When people ask me why Lawrence has achieved some success when other initiatives like this across the country have failed, I often point them to this slide. Many folks remember that when I came, an article was written that called Lawrence the city of the damned. To me, this actually mobilized a lot of Lawrencians to come back and help in the school systems. It's been a powerful motivator. You see here the number of active employees that now live in Lawrence that actually work in the school system. And I would argue it's been that collaboration, along with our outside groups, that have made the difference. I think receivership could have been viewed as an outside occupying force. Instead, we chose to do this work with the people of Lawrence and not to them. And I believe it has been this collaboration, a road less traveled in education reform, I might add, that has made all the difference. I'm incredibly grateful to the wider Lawrence community for supporting the work for our kids. Frank McLaughlin, I think is here today from the Lawrence Teachers Union. Thank you, Frank. Heather Mechanic, Groundwork Lawrence, Derek Mitchell at the Partnership Board, Jess Andors at Community Works, Marcus Fisher at the Boys and Girls Club, Frank Keneally at the YMCA, Mark Camford and Howard Stickler at YDO, Lou Berneri at Breadloaf, Charlie Daher at Commonwealth Motors, Jonathan Isaacson at the GEM Group, Sal Lapoli, Naomi Custodia Laura, and Lane Glenn at Northern Essex Community College, Christopher Hopi and his team at Merrimack, and both mayors, Lantigua and Rivera. And I could go on and on about the amount of people that have supported the schools over the last 6+ years, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. The creation of a partnership board, which will be described in more detail in a few moments by the state, and will become the next receiver, in my opinion, is a logical next step for the Lawrence Public Schools. Crucially, it provides more local voice in decision-making, and I think that's important, and I think the time for that is right now. I promise to continue to work tirelessly on behalf of our kids and families until my contract expires at the end of June, and will do what I can after that time to ensure a smooth transition for what's next. I want to close by saying probably 2 things. First, it's been the honor of my career to work with the most amazing teachers, staff, and administrators I have ever seen. And I've worked in numerous urban districts in my nearly 25-year career. And second, as the work continues, I hope everyone realizes that our children are truly amazing and deserving of a great education. And I hope that, as we've done for the last 6 years, people will put aside adult interest and their own interests in favor of what's best for the children. Thank you. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Commissioner Wolfson.
Thank you, Superintendent. And I want to start by thanking not only Jeff, but everybody involved with the Lawrence school system over these past 6 years, teachers, administrators, parents, and of course the students. You've done a remarkable job. But as Jeff said, being in a much improved school system is not the same as being a great school system, and that always has been, continues to be our goal, to provide every Lawrence student with a great education no matter what their background. So the work will continue. We've been thinking for some time about how to begin a thoughtful transition out of receivership and back to local control. The state receivership law gives me, as commissioner, an option to appoint a board rather than an individual as receiver, and that is my plan for the next phase of our turnaround work. A board will allow us to bring together both state and local voices in what I hope will be a true partnership to continue the work that Jeff Riley has begun and to establish a foundation to ensure that these improvements will be long-lasting. I've discussed this plan not only with Superintendent Riley, but also with Mayor Rivera, and I'm very grateful that the mayor has not only encouraged me to move in this direction, but that he's also agreed to serve as a member of this board. Thank you, Mayor, for your leadership. We'll be selecting other members of the board in the weeks ahead. The board's initial focus will be on conducting a search for a new superintendent who will take over next July 1st and who will report to the board during this next phase. In the meantime, Jeff Riley will continue to serve as receiver and superintendent for the balance of this school year. We're excited to move into this next phase, and we all at the department look forward to even greater days ahead for the Lawrence Public Schools. With that, I'd like to ask the mayor to make some remarks.
Good afternoon. As a product of the Lawrence Public School System, and as a member of this community who've seen the turbulence and hard times of our system, I feel so excited that this is a new direction for our school system. We cannot move in haste towards a different direction because every child's life and every child's future is in our hands. And so we got to make sure we do this in a focused and thoughtful way. I think the administration has done that in this move. I think I can't say enough about Jeff Riley and the role he's played improving the life and lot of families here in Lawrence. I think we're all better off for his time here. And every time we talk about the success here, I always tell people Jeff's secret sauce is the kids. Investing in the kids, investing in the kids. And that means investing in the teachers so they have time to spend more time investing in our kids. And so I think that was an important part of when they came to talk to me about this matter. And so I do look forward to this new shared governance with the state and welcome my role on the board. I'll ensure the voice of parents, students are first and foremost in our decision-making process, while the whole time also supporting our teachers and our staff. You know, we've talked about with compensation of the board, and and I'm going to keep pushing the state because again, I don't want to make anybody be unclear about this process. The state is still in charge, and so we're going to push them to be more diverse and more inclusive in the board they choose. And we may not come on the same side of it, but I'm going to be there doing just that. So I welcome this new change. I'm sorry to see Jeff go, but at the end of the day, I think when we hire a new superintendent, it's going to be somebody that has a big shoes to fill and a big task ahead of them. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to ask Secretary Pizer to add some remarks.
Thank you, Jeff. I want to start by adding my thanks to Jeff Riley for his service on behalf of myself and of Governor Baker. I mean, the last 6+ years has really been an extraordinary experience. I think certainly for the children and families of Lawrence, but also for people and policymakers and educators who are interested in education reform, in turnaround strategies, because what's going on here in Lawrence, what Jeff has led is truly remarkable. The work is, as everyone has said, is not nearly done, which is why this transition kind of continues and this partnership continues. But there's been tremendous progress. And I think Lawrence is rightly recognized as one of the most successful examples of school turnaround, district level turnaround that we see in public education, not just here in Massachusetts, but really anywhere around the country. Jeff's innovative open architecture design, which empowers school-based leadership, has become a model that's not only applicable in turnaround situations or in underperforming schools and districts, but really is a path forward for restructuring school districts that are interested in continuous improvement, regardless of where they are on the performance spectrum. His investment and commitment to the arts and a rich extracurricular programming in partnership with a lot of local organizations, some of which he mentioned already today, has demonstrated that you can have both educational excellence and a rich and broad curriculum, and that these things are not in conflict. Indeed, they're actually complementary, that one makes the other even stronger. The Acceleration Academy is one of the sort of signature components of Jeff's tenure, which is through both testimony and research has been demonstrated to have an extremely important effect in moving student achievement. And his commitment, getting back, I think, to some of the comments that have already been made, his commitment to parents and families and this community has meant that his tenure has not been, like as was said, an outside occupying force, but very much a collaboration and a partnership with the community, with the parents and families at a very grassroots level that has really made this, I think, much less a receivership and more of a state-local partnership. So, Jeff, thank you for all of that. And that is, I think, a legacy that will endure, and hopefully one that we can, through this effort and this transition, we can secure in the future. I want to also thank the Commissioner, Jeff Wolfson, for his leadership in developing a proposal for the next phase of this state-local partnership here in Lawrence to ensure, in particular, that there is a stronger local voice in school and district governance. I would be remiss if I didn't also acknowledge the leadership of his predecessor, Mitchell Chester, in bringing this relationship forward and in sustaining it over time. His contributions, as well as the contributions of the entire DESE team, many of whom are here today, is really extraordinary, and I think, again, will endure in terms of its effect, its positive effect on the children and family of Lawrence. And finally, I want to thank the mayor for his support and his collaboration to ensure that we take the work that has been done to the next level of performance by strengthening this partnership between the state and the city in the best interest of all the children, of all the families, and of the community as a whole. So thank you all very much.